now.
Hi everyone, it's Janet from the Penatang Machine Public Library, and I'm here to talk to you about literary anniversaries for the month of April. So today we're going to be talking about William Shakespeare, and I'm sure everyone's heard of Shakespeare and many of his different plays, but I'm going to tell you a few facts about Shakespeare and read a little bit out of one of his plays. So William Shakespeare was born on the 26th of April in 1564, and he died on April 23rd of 1616. He's widely considered the world's greatest dramatist, and I think anyone who has ever watched a Shakespearean play or read any of his books would largely agree with that. He wrote 39 plays and 154 sonnets. Shakespeare is more likely to have received a classical Latin education at King's New School in Stratford, and he was married at the age of 18. Shakespeare had 7 brothers and sisters. He worked as an actor, a writer, and co-owner of drama comedy called Lord Chamberlain's Men, and it's later known as The King's Men. So many of you have heard of Shakespeare's plays, and if you've ever seen anything at Stratford, I remember my first play was Taming of the Shrew in high school with Mrs. Gallagher-Main, and it was quite amazing. So one of the things all of us will think about when we read Shakespeare or we watch any of his plays is how they speak or how it is portrayed. So nowadays we all depend on books that have a translation, if you will, on certain things. So as you can see in this book, we have a Shakespearean play, and on the other side we have how it would be translated if we were reading it today. So more like a modern time piece that we can understand a little bit better. So this one is Romeo and Juliet, and many of you know that Romeo and Juliet is one of the best romance tales of all time. So here's just a little bit of information on this one. So more commonly known as simply Romeo and Juliet, the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet is one of Shakespeare's most famous works. The play follows the lives and deaths of Romeo and Juliet, 2 young star-crossed lovers from feuding families. So Romeo and Juliet's love is one of the most beloved and tragic in all of classic literature. And it's one of the most famous love stories of all time. Okay, and then we have Hamlet. So I remember Hamlet from high school a little bit, and I remember it was a very interesting play. It was very, very hard to follow for me at times because I didn't understand a lot of how it was written. Nowadays, I think I could understand a little bit better. So what is the main story of Hamlet? Hamlet's summary is the ghost of the King of Denmark tells his son Hamlet to avenge his murder by killing the new king, Hamlet's uncle. Hamlet pretends he's mad, contemplates life and death, and seeks revenge. His uncle, fearing for his own life, also derives the plot to kill Hamlet. So it wasn't a very pleasant story for me to read as a teenager, but I can understand how Shakespeare would write this play and people would go and see it because at the time there weren't theaters, there weren't movie theaters. This was entertainment, and it would have been widely enjoyed by the people that came to see it. The other one is The Twelfth Night that we have with us today. So The Twelfth Night is a romantic comedy. A romantic love is played in the main focus, despite the fact that the play offers a happy ending in which the various lovers find one another and achieve wedded bliss. Shakespeare throws that love can save all. So as far as his writings, I found he can go from writing a romance to writing war, and he does a wonderful job at writing everything. So that's one thing that with Shakespeare I found was incredibly interesting with all of his plays. So I'm going to read Act 1, Scene 1 of the 12th Night for you today in Shakespearean tone, and then I'm going to read it in modern day just to see how the difference is and how we interpret how it's written. So, if music be the food of love, play on. Give me excess of it, that, suffocating, the appetite may sicken, and to so die, that strain again it had a dying fall. Oh, what came our ear like the sweet sound that breathes upon the bank of violets, stealing and giving odor. Enough, no more. 'Tis not so sweet now as it was before. O spirit of love, how quick and fresh art thou, that, notwithstanding thy capacity, receiveth as this sea, not enters there, of what validity and pitch soever, but falls into abandonment and low price, even in a minute so full of shapes is fancy. That alone, it alone, is a high fanatical. So, you can see in times, back in the Elizabethan times, how they spoke and how that would be portrayed, and nowadays, this is the interpretation. If it's true that music makes people more in love, keep playing. Give me too much of it, so I'll get sick of it and stop loving. Play that part again. It sounded sad. Oh, it sounded like a sweet breeze blowing gently over a bank of violets, taking their scent with it. That's enough. Stop. It doesn't sound as sweet as it did before. Oh, love is so restless. It makes you want everything, but it makes you sick of things a minute later. No matter how good they are, love is so vivid and fantastical that nothing compares to it. So it's funny how it's interpreted from then to now. But we do have a lot of the Shakespearean plays at the library if anyone would like to come and borrow them and see the difference between then and now, try and interpret it. And I hope that you've enjoyed today's presentation, and see you soon. Thanks.